Hey Internet, Eric here. Well, it's Slashback Saturday once again. If you don't know what that is, Joe the Horror Man over on his channel, every Saturday what he does is he picks a specific theme. And what you're supposed to do if you choose to participate, which I suggest you do, I try to participate in this every time my schedule allows it, is you find out what that category is, and you pick a slasher film. It has to be a slasher film, not just a horror film. It has to be a slasher film that fits into said category. And I've been excited. Well, first off, this week's category is Santa slashers. And the only requirement for this one is a slasher film that has a Santa or multiple Santas in it. The Santa Claus does not have to be the killer. There just has to be a Santa involved in this movie somehow. And I've been very excited to talk about this film only because I praised the original back when we did Christmas in July slashers, and this was the original was one that Joe had never seen, and I just reminded him about it when I was rewatching it. Back in July, I did Once Upon a Time at Christmas. Well, I've been very excited when I found out a sequel was coming because this was the first time I saw that. That back in July was the first time I saw that film. Came out in 2017. I found out that a sequel is coming out this year or last year, depending on IMDb. I'm going to say 2020 because this is when it was available here. Today, I'm going to discuss the sequel to Once Upon a Time at Christmas. Finally saw this the other day. Been looking around forever. The Night Before Christmas. Now, like I said, I'm going to say this came out in 2020. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes. Watch at your own risk, especially since this one literally just became available on streaming. Okay, basic plot of this is obviously it is the sequel to Once Upon a Time at Christmas. Mr. Claus, or Nick, and Mrs. Claus have broken out. Obviously, they are on the lam or on the loose, however you want to say, killing everybody again. And this time they've changed up their reasoning, I guess you would say, for why they're killing people. Last time they used the 12 Days of Christmas poem. This year they have a naughty and a nice list, and I really like that gimmick. Basically, okay, the rest of it is the FBI trying to find out who's next on the list while trying to stop these people. There's a little more to it, which I'll get into. Really enjoyed this one as well. I'll tell you why. First off, what I always like about a sequel is you're supposed to, I think, to paraphrase Randy in Scream 2, he says something like, try to improve on the original while not like overstepping its bounds or something like that. There are a lot of improvements in this film over the original, and I'll say why. First off, Simon Phillips as Saint Nick. He's still so much fun in this film. As Santa Claus or Saint Nick or Nicholas, well, whatever name he's going under, he's still menacing. He's still really, really good. When he has to get up front and whisper and be scary, he is malevolent. He is so good in this. I'm trying to find out the other characters' names, so bear with me. Anyways, I really, really enjoy his performance. He's not over the top. And when a person is playing a serial killer and they're having fun, in my opinion, that is a hell of a lot of fun. That makes me enjoy the film a lot more. And then let's get to Mrs. Claus. I want to say her name in this because Selah de Good or Selah de Good. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she is Mrs. Claus. And you know what? She is a hell of a lot of fun too. And her chemistry with Simon Phillips, who was one of the writers, her chemistry with Simon Phillips has improved, I think, since the first film. And let's see if I can get the picture again. Anyways. Alright, good enough. Alright, sorry. Her chemistry has improved. Her acting, I think, has gotten a lot better. I liked her in the first one. A lot of people said she was just either ripping off or homaging Harley Quinn. Not in this one. Looks, whatever. She's got the pigtails, but she's really good in this film. I like how she's more menacing. She's not as over the top, and that's great. That's really good. And what I like about this is we get a little bit more of a backstory. Now we get to see, in the first one, they mentioned how they broke out of the insane asylum. We get to see how that happened. We get to see how they set the place on fire. We get to see one of the improvements is the gore in this. One problem that the original had was a lot of CGI kills with the blood splatter and some arrows to the eyes. Almost all of this, in what I've noticed, was practical effects, and that's great. One of the main things was great was during the breakout at the insane asylum. Uh, we see that Santa is burned in the face. I mean, he's burnt. Half of his face is burnt. You can't really see with the glare, and he's got a blind eye. We get to see really good close-ups of him, and not just after it is healed. We get to see some close-ups of him like the burns are fresh, and that looks really cool. The gore here, we get to see some neck slits. We get to see some stabbings. We get to see we actually get to see more gore here. We have a castration, which you get to see, well, the after effects, which looks pretty damn good. Some beheadings, lot more practical effects in this one compared to CGI blood splatter in the first one. So that's great. Um, Again, I liked the backstory of why the naughty people are on the naughty list and the nice people are let go and put on the nice list, even though they have nice carved in their foreheads. So that is cool that even though they're nice, they still have a scar. Not just the mental scars, they have a physical scar of the encounter. Um, Problems? Yeah, well, the acting's still not the best outside of Simon Phillips and Selah. The good. Sorry. Um, they're just, to my opinion, just kind of run of the mill actors and actresses. They're okay. Sometimes they're not really good. Sometimes they're really bad. I don't want to trash this film because of how much I've had fun with this. But once you get past Mr. and Mrs. Claus, the acting is really hit and miss. I do, and the one thing that was hard for me was because other than Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and I think the sheriff, who's now retired, returns in this, the same actor. Everyone else is different. There are some returning characters. We have Nicholas's daughter. He is back, or she is back in this one, and the friend that survived the end of part one is back. They're played by different actresses, and for a while, because I'm not really good at remembering characters' names, it was hard to figure out who was who. Who is this person from the first film? Who is that person from the first film? Until we got, it established, and that takes a little bit to establish. But it doesn't take away my enjoyment of the film because another really good thing is really like the ending. The ending was really good. It was a twist on the ending of the first film, but I thought it really worked well. And what I liked about this one, and you might think it sucked because I talked about how good the chemistry was between Mr. and Mrs. Claus is Mrs. Claus gets caught very early on. Now it's a plan made by Nick where she's supposed to get caught so he can do his thing, and she can like distract the FBI agents. Speaking of the FBI agents, the lead FBI agent, the girl, and then the guy, they are probably the worst when it comes to the acting. But what I was saying is, she gets caught, Mrs. Claus, and they're separated for the whole time. That is where Mrs. Claus, Selah, this actress, she gets a chance to shine. She's more menacing here when she's talking one on one to the FBI agents. She's subdued, kind of like when Nick is personally talking to people. She doesn't really go crazy unless she's with Nick. So when she's one on one with the agent, it's very subdued, very calculating, very menacing. Very very quiet. She's not over the top. Kind of like it made me think of Jake the Snake Roberts. The wrestler. He always said, something like, you yell and scream. When he's talking about promos, you yell and scream, and people just they shrug you off. But if you talk quietly and calmly, they're going to get close to their screens and they're going to listen to your every word. I don't know if she took that as an inspiration, but that's what made me think, and I thought she was really good. And that's what I mean by I think her acting improved in this one because she wasn't just over the top crazy. She had a lot of, there are some scenes when she's in the nut house and she's giggling and squealing and doing stuff. But the scenes where she's in the jail cell by herself really help her acting shine. Um, the let's see here. The kills were like I said were inventive. I said we get a castration, we get a decapitation. It's cool that the director of the movie is the one that gets decapitated. And then there's some really cool reveals. Like I love when there's a board meeting happening and people are slaughtered off screen, with blood shooting on the windows. I mean, some of the comedy is okay. A girl walks in with coffee. She sees, it's in the trailer. She sees what's going on. She says, "Excuse me," and then she walks out the door. And then we get this reveal of everyone dead except for one person who was on the nice list, but she is covered in the gore. So that's a really good reveal. I like how, again, the chemistry between Mr. and Mrs. Claus, they're now calling each other husband and wife. They're talking about how they want to fuck, one last good fuck before the night's over type of thing. So their personalities have changed. Nudity, there's some decent nudity here, because that is what's needed in a slasher film. In a really good reveal, which you can figure out what's going to happen. A girl is, strip teasing for her man and it ends up not being her man. But it was a really good reveal with the flashlight and a dead body. Really like that. In the end, just like the first one, I really like the sequel, The Nights Before Christmas. Lots of fun. Great performances by the killers. We get some improved gore. We get some improved kills. We get some more creative kills. Other than the main two people, the acting I can't praise, but you know what it is? When it comes to slasher films, it's not necessarily the acting that's the most important thing. We just don't want to hate the characters. I didn't hate any character here, which was an improvement, I think, over the first film. Didn't hate any characters. Simon Phillips was fantastic still as Saint Nick or Mr. Claus or Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him. But Sayla to go as Mrs. Claus, we get to find out a little bit of her backstory. There's a scene with a priest in the insane asylum. You know why he's on the naughty list, which is just a brief cut, and you're just like, ooh. We get more of her backstory and her acting, and like I said, in that jail cell was fantastic. Loved it. So if you are a fan of the first one, which I really really was, I highly recommend The Nights Before Christmas. I had just as much fun with this one as I did with the original, even though there were some improvements of this one. I don't know if it was better, but it's as good. So, and I'm excited because there is going to be a sequel coming out, a part 3 coming out, supposedly next year. So, very excited for that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. Hope everyone has a good Christmas, depending on when they watch this. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen the original. Tell me if you've finally seen this one, because it literally just came on streaming a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure. To my knowledge, as of this recording, it's not physically out on DVD, but I can't wait. I will be buying this to go with my physical copy of the first one. Yeah, tell me what you think. If you've seen it, like it, hate it, whatever. Would love to hear your opinion. Hope everyone has a nice holiday. I don't know if I'm going to have one more video before Christmas. We'll see. But go to Joe, the HORRORman's channel. Give him a like, give him a sub, all that jazz. Participate in the Slashback if he's going to. I think he might be doing it again next year. Hope so, because this is fun. It would be cool if the part 3 came out and I was able to do that for a Slashback. That would be good. Rambled enough, said enough. Cheers.